few weeks, ICE raids have been sweeping the country, all part of President Donald Trump's plan to detain and deport millions of undocumented immigrants. With the removal of restrictions that prohibit ICE from entering certain areas, such as schools, places of worship, and hospitals, Southport students and staff are left wondering if they will be the next round of people affected by these raids.
I think it's something that we should really process and really make sure that we have like a specific school policy as to what like we as educators should do. I guess you could say that as someone who teaches many different types of students from many different backgrounds, I think that I'd be concerned about how it impacts our students and not just how they see themselves and their status, whether they're documented or undocumented in the United States, but also how they see their relationship with other students. So if someone's undocumented and then maybe they're like going through the hallways, are they going to have to start second guessing who they are friends with, who they're not friends with when it comes to their undocumented status? Not in the sense of people are going to report on them, but is there the possibility that this could really impact students here, whether people are for it or people are against it, when it came to passing these executive orders to change this up, like you cannot raid these particular institutions, and so the fact that they got rid of schools and churches on the list, I think is very surprising.
I sat down with Dr. Spray to talk about our plan if ICE comes to Southport.
So what is our plan if ICE does come to Perry Township?
Yeah.
What are teachers and admin supposed to do?
We know it's a very sensitive situation right now with executive orders coming down from the federal government and that sort of thing about immigration enforcement being ramped up. So that kind of puts us in the middle of this potentially and certainly politically. We have protocols and procedures in place already when we deal with law enforcement. Those same protocols and procedures are going to be in place. This particular situation is kind of heightened a little bit, especially emotionally, and also specifically in Perry Township because we do have a large immigrant population. We as schools don't know our students' immigration status simply because we don't ask and can't ask. There's actually federal law that prevents schools from requiring that to enroll. So even if a entity come and asked us the question is, hey, give us a list of all your students that don't have a legal immigration status, we don't have that information. And people know that. So that whole broad situation of an entity coming into school and sweeping and getting a bunch of students isn't really practical. If a federal official or a local official comes and wants to speak to a student, is that we get their identification, we copy their identification, understand what they need and what they want. If it is immigration related, then they're to call my office, and then we will kind of go through the steps. We will certainly engage with attorneys, specifically immigration attorneys, and to make sure we get the appropriate paperwork necessary to make that happen in our schools. So we will follow the law. If all those I's are dotted and T's are crossed and we've run it by our legal, then we would comply with what is being asked from the individuals.
I read the email that you sent out to teachers. So in it, you said that obviously you're going to comply with law enforcement, but also the safety of your students is also a priority.
Yeah, I think one of the things is through our multilingual learner department here in Perry Township. They have been doing a good job of working with our immigrant families so that they know their rights and they know where to go get help to understand their rights better. We as educators, our biggest job is to build a safe learning environment because we know that if kids feel safe, they're going to learn better.
Obviously, this is kind of not speculation, but we're not really sure this is going to happen. Do you anticipate this happening at all? Someone going to you and asking for the statuses of students?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to ask for the status of specific students, at least in the short term or even in the long term. That this is going to be, I hope not, it's going to be a significant thing where we're enforcing these laws on school property.
Trump's presidency has only just begun, and he has already cracked down on what he has promised. We will just have to wait and see what the future holds for Southport in these changing times. Ava Campbell, The Journal.